Marvel stuff. Armor Wars official announcement. Marvel Phase 6. Let's see what everything always has to say about this and check this out.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, the shakeups and changes over at Marvel Studios started long before the strikes that we're experiencing right now. Since Bob Iger has been back on scene, it's all been about prioritizing quantity over quality. And I suppose that means we're going to get some projects that were in pre-development that'll never end up getting made, but that's totally fine, again, if quality is going to be the byproduct of that. Well, amongst all of these changes, there was one project and franchise that actually saw an upgrade from a TV series on Disney Plus to a feature-length film in Armor Wars. And considering the most recent reveal that James Rhodes has been a Skrull in the MCU and since Civil War, this project is going to take on a whole new size and shape when we finally see Rhodey reacting to everything he's missed and everything he's learning about what's happened in the MCU since then. In the meantime, we actually have some major announcements. A director has been listed for this film alongside some writers, and industry insiders have weighed in with who the major villain is going to be, alongside a cameo coming all the way back from the earliest days of the Infinity Saga, one of my favorite characters from the Iron Man franchise. We're breaking down all the latest news for Armor Wars, the directors, writers, villain, and cameos, and I'm going to speculate just a little bit based on the villain what the plot of this film might actually end up being. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button, we do daily Marvel content at the channel, and that's all we do. Everything from official Easter egg breakdowns, trailers, and reviews to the occasional industry insider report and everything in between. So if that sort of thing's for you, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. That will automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway. The next one is right around the corner. Again, all you gotta do, be a sub, leave a comment on this video if you want, stick around to the end of the video, we get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so it's been revealed that for right now, the director listed on the project via IMDb and a couple of updates is Damian Marcano. Now, while you always can't trust IMDb to the letter because sometimes things get improperly updated, it's also the place where we learned Avengers 4's title was Avengers Endgame and other information about the MCU long before there were ever any official announcements. So for at least right now, Damian Marcano is listed as the director. There were other writers attached as the time of that reporting. Bo DeMeo, who wrote X-Men 97 and Moon Knight, Malcolm Spellman, who wrote On the Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Captain America Brave New World, Zach Penn, who worked on The Incredible Hulk and The Avengers, and Brian Tucker, who wrote on the most recent Secret Invasion. Now, when these names were said to be attached, a lot of it was for script continuity and consulting, meaning they probably won't be writing the overall script, and considering some of these are actually TV writers, it's doubtful that they'll ultimately pen the final script. But of all these names, you'll notice they've been attached to Phase 4 and late Phase 5 projects. Zach Penn hasn't written for Marvel since The Incredible Hulk and The Avengers, which is awesome to see him come back after 10 years, but also piques a lot of interest because, again, for continuity purposes, he's the guy who was involved in these earlier projects. Speaking of which, and you guys may not have known this, like Jeremy Renner, Don Cheadle actually had a similar contract when he signed with Marvel that included the possibility for a solo War Machine spinoff that could be a potential feature film. There were discussions about it, and Cheadle actually had a rough idea for what Rhodey would do. He'd go rogue and become a fugitive in order to complete a forbidden and politically volatile mission that he viewed as morally right. Incidentally, that would have aligned him perfectly with where Steve Rogers and Captain America was going into Civil War. They got so far with the project that they actually hired Joe Robert Cole to write the script. But it ended up getting shelved because Shane Black had different ideas for where Rhodey would be as the Iron Patriot in Iron Man 3. Now, Cole would actually go on to work on Black Panther with Ryan Coogler, but the idea of a solo War Machine film has been kicked around for the last 10 years, and I'm glad that they've back-pocketed it because not only is this the perfect time considering what we're now going to talk about as far as the villain and cameos, but it's the perfect time leading into the end of the multiverse saga to bring James Rhodes back to prominence, especially after now knowing that we really haven't seen him since Civil War, that he's been a Skrull the entire time. Speaking of which, I think that may have something to do with the plot, but first let's talk about who industry insiders are revealing as the villain and a cameo that I am so excited about. First up, several industry insider sources have now pointed to La Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine as the main villain for the upcoming Armor Wars, and if that seems not to make any sense, I assure you that it does. Her character showing up the way she did during the end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier was the start of a nice, huge, long through line in arc where she'll play an even more prominent role in upcoming films like, we assume, Brave New World and then eventually The Thunderbolts. Ultimately, the idea was always to have her as sort of a back character pulling the strings as we're headed into a Dark Reign storyline with an eventual end to that arc. She's not going to be a part of the multiverse saga the way some of these other characters ultimately will be, like Kane. That being said, she is a villain. We've known this the entire time, and I think that she's a Skrull. That's where I think this thing comes full circle, knowing that she may be one of the last Skrull hideouts. We know tons of them took the place of prominent officials in leadership across the government. We also know there's over 1 million of them on Earth. Depending on how Secret Invasion was left off, even though the US has declared war on them, you have to imagine there's still plenty of Skrulls on Earth that want to take over and follow in the footsteps of what Gravik started. That being said, I believe she will be revealed to be a Skrull, and so it'll go beyond whatever role they're playing in trying to clean up Tony Stark's technology or reclaim it. That's actually not the Armor Wars run that people from Marvel were saying. That's called the Stark Wars. Armor Wars was the story from Battleworld in which James Rhodes is actually wielding a hammer. He's that realm's Thor. They're definitely not adapting that. Quick side note though, we might be in Battleworld by the time this happens, so hey, never rule anything out. It was just painful to watch some of the upper brass at Marvel say that there was an Armor Wars publishing and then completely fumble the stories they were talking about. That being said, it seems as though we've moved away from that, and so ultimately, Valentina Allegra de Fontaine working in the government, possibly controlling Stark Tech as it applies to supervillains. Not only will it be a point of contention for Rhodes to try to clean up Stark technology and get control on that, but if she's revealed to be a Skrull, you can imagine how much personal weight that'll hold with James Rhodes when he finds out that the Skrulls are the reason he missed his best friend's death, among a ton of other things that happened during the snap and the blip. Which, I gotta be honest guys, I really wish they had worked that into the Secret Invasion series so that we could see Don Cheadle acting that out on screen and in the moment instead of knowing that it's coming. He'll have to do it retrospectively on screen when we see him. I wish they could have just had him address that on screen earlier in the series, then have a redemption moment where he gets to square off against the Skrulls, maybe even in that final episode, quote, War Machine story, right? Whatever, we're just gonna forget about Secret Invasion. You guys don't know this, but instead of doing an Easter egg video, or really any videos for that finale, between Wednesday when the finale posted and Saturday, I actually rewrote the entire series as a 2-part special, and if you guys got to see my script for what Secret Invasion would have been, it would have been a lot more hype. It included things like this, redeeming Rhodey during the series, payoff moments. It's hard to tell what happened there, but we're going to forget about it. We're going to move forward. Loki Season 2 looks lit. In the meantime, speaking of lit, there is at least one cameo rumor I am so excited about and returning from Iron Man 2, and that is Justin Hammer is rumored to be returning. And while he was loosely a villain in Iron Man 2, it's obvious he'll be on Rhodey's side this time. It'll be a redemption arc. I tell you guys all the time, Iron Man 2 rose from one of the lesser Marvel movies for me to one of the most rewatchable, and honestly now is one of my favorites of all time. And it's due in large part to Sam Rockwell's counterpoint to Robert Downey Jr. I love his character of Justin Hammer, and if I could get my wish for what I see in Armor Wars alongside the Proton Cannon, it would be that. But guys, let me know all your thoughts down below if you ultimately agree with everything I said during this video, especially the fact that Val is probably a Skrull, and that's how this is all going to end up when we finally get to Armor Wars. I am all ears as always. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. Alright, we are still giving away PlayStation 5s here at the channel. The next one is right around the corner with the finale of Loki. If you want to be entered to win, all you have to do, hit the subscribe button, then leave a comment down below, because it's truly random. The more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you liked today's video, I'd appreciate it if you hit the like button. My name is Michael Roman. You can find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter @I'mFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, wherever you listen to original music under the name All Fires. And while I sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.
Please subscribe, like this video, have a great day, and thanks for watching. Like this video, and see you guys. Bye.